Master on flight controls. Hi there and welcome to a new behind the scenes video. I'm still making them, although I didn't have much time in the last weeks to edit any real footage. But today I'm gonna show you some impressions of my multi-engine class rating. I'm nearly done with my CPL, and for my CPL there are a total of 15 hours of flight training required, 10 of which I've already flown on the Cessna 152. Which is kind of boring because that's what I do as a flight instructor. I teach people how to fly the Cessna 152 and how to navigate it. And the CPL is basically the same, just that I have to be more precise with my navigation, more precise with my aircraft handling, which isn't really a problem. The last 5 hours have to be flown on the DA-42, or they have to be flown on a complex aircraft. And a complex aircraft is defined as having a retractable landing gear and a constant speed propeller. And this is the DA-42 in our flight school. And in order to fly those 5 hours of CPL training on that aircraft, I first have to learn how to fly that aircraft. So that's where this video comes in. I first have to do my multi-engine class rating. Pre-flight inspection. Die is completed. Die pedals sind adjusted. Seatbelts sind fastened. Rear door is closed and secure. Fuel transfer pumps. The DA-42 is powered by two diesel engines, which are controlled by a FEDEC, full authority digital engine control. So that's normally something you know from airliners. You've already seen this diesel engine at work. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you've seen me flying a Cessna 172, which is powered by the same engine. The engine is pretty straightforward, as you just have one power lever which controls it. All the other parameters, especially the propeller pitch, are controlled by the engine control units or the FEDEC. So you don't have to worry about anything. And here you can see me going through the startup checklist of the aircraft and the startup procedure, which is a little bit more detailed or complex compared to what you might know from the old 152 or the 172. Before start, electric master on. Flight controls. Left up, right up, down, right, left. Sind checked, trim ist checked. Gear warning and lights. Und die Fire Warning. Jo, Flaps auf Landing. So, der Variable Backstop. Jo. Okay, den machen wir mal an. Gehen wir auf Backup. So, Engine Fuel. Haben wir immer noch die von 5 Grad drin und dann gehen wir auf System. So, ACL on. Power Levers sind auf Idle und Front Canopy ist in Position 1. Und damit ist die V4 Start Checklist complete. Okay, starting left engine. Engine Master on. Er glüht. Close off. Left side is clear. Starting left engine. Okay, Oil Pressure und wir haben Amps. So, die Amps haben sich eingependelt. Machen wir Starting Right Engine. Engine Master on. So, blow is off, right side is clear. Here at the holding point, we're performing the usual before takeoff items. One item is the actual check of the engine Runup, and you're normally used to a runner bringing the engine up to a certain RPM, checking the ignition system, maybe checking the carburetor heat, and all that stuff. And here in this aircraft, it's quite nice. It's all automated. You're just pressing a test button and the engine goes through a pre-programmed test program, and you just have to check that all parameters are within limits. And once the test program completes, that there are no warnings left and you know your engine is good. So the whole thing is quite automated for a general aviation aircraft, which is kind of nice, isn't it?
Okay, 245 soll er mir sagen, sagt er 246, passt, Heading Lock auf die Bahn setzen, der ist auch da. I'm ready?
Anytime.
Okay, take off.
After takeoff, we flew towards the training area where we practiced some airwork. Slow flights, steep turns, and unfortunately due to the low ceiling we couldn't perform any stalls or the VMCA demonstration. Nevertheless, the most interesting part for me was the mistakes I did. Because in the last 1.5 years roundabout, I accumulated approximately 360 hours as a flight instructor. And the small mistakes that I teach my students pay attention to, for example, not to focus too much on one parameter in the cockpit on their display. All those small mistakes I did myself now sitting on the left seat. And immediately as I did those mistakes, I realized that. But still, I was quite surprised that I would fall that easy for the typical student's mistakes. So it was kind of a fun learning experience for me as well. Nevertheless, it's quite fun to fly the aircraft, it's quite easy to handle. After all those maneuvers, we flew towards another airport, Stadtlohn, where we did a few approaches, touch and goes, landings, landing without flaps, and even single engine landings. When we were practicing engine failures, my instructor would reduce one engine to 0 thrust or to 0% of load, which is the idle position of the thrust lever, and I would have to identify the dead engine. Once the dead engine is identified, you would have to confirm and verify that this is really the faulty engine. Once you did that, it's time for the shutdown procedure. So with the call engine failure, I would advance the power levers to full thrust, identify and verify the dead engine, then reduce the thrust lever of the dead engine to 0, shut off the fuel, and then shut off the engine master and the alternators. Once the dead engine is secured, the flight instructor would advance the power lever of the dead engine to 20%. Since we don't actually shut the engine off, this power setting simulates a feathered propeller. So the power of the engine just compensates for the drag that the turning propeller will create.